Welcome ladies and gentlemen to Golden League 2, and today we've got 3DB playing on the west side of the map in orange as the Ottomans. It's going to be going up against none other than Leenock, who's playing in green as the Mongols. Welcome to Dry River. An interesting map, an interesting match, because we've got two very aggressive civilizations, and we can see that aggression already coming out for the Ottomans and 3DB investing in an early military school to pump out some of those spearmen to be a bit aggressive with. The Mongols have traditionally been known to be aggressive with outpost rushes, tower rushes, with the barracks going down for spearmen, double production with the Uvu. And we don't see the barracks coming out just yet. We might do in time, as we see a very nice spawn at the moment here for Leenock. Has got the Uvu very close to the town centre. He's got berries there and the wood line, and he's got a back gold. Now the gold is relatively far away from that town centre, but it is at the back of the map. So that would be difficult for the Ottomans to punish. The spearmen might head around the back there, but it will take some time before they'll be able to get there. And we do see a couple of ponds here on Dry River, just a couple of scattered around. In between there are passes of land. Neither player going for a dock at this stage, and who could blame them? Both civilizations can be incredibly aggressive. Be exciting to see how the Ottomans play this though, as we do see spearmen coming out. No barracks though for Leenock, so it doesn't appear to be the case that he's going to be going for an outpost rush at all. He's going to be going for a feudal age. He's got the villagers on gold, as you can see, 4 of them. He's planning to get there to the next stage as fast as he can. Probably look to get down to an archery range to counteract those spearmen that could be coming out, or that are coming out for the Ottomans. Here's a dock coming out for 3DB. He does want to get some fishing economy up and rolling. There are, a little bit of shorefish to be gathered here. That'll be a nice bit of injection of income for the Ottomans' economy. So this is a best of 3, ladies and gents. We will be showcasing the full best of 3, so do stick around after this game for game number 2. There'll definitely be a game number 2. Question is whether there will be a game number 3. Both players are very strong. It could go to it. We see a lot of villagers onward, and that'll be funding the fishing ships that will be queued up here for the Ottomans. And nice bit of shore fishing here by this village as well to really boost up that speed of food income. But B is going to be delayed to that next stage. Obviously the investment in the military school and the dock does set him behind compared to the Mongols. And he's going to try and get to the next stage quick time. He's going to go 5 villagers on gold. This could be a fast castle build potentially for the Ottomans. It's going to be deer stones. That is the landmark for the Mongols. A landmark we often see for the Mongols. It instantly researches the YAM network technology, which increases movement speed by 15% to all units within the range of outposts and this landmark. And so we might end up seeing outposts being a big feature of the Mongols play. We often do as the game wears on. A lot of the time the Mongols do invest into heavy siege weaponry, and with outposts close to the opponent's base, acting as a staging ground for attack. Of course, we are way off that position at the moment. A lot of villagers being used to build that twin minaret madrasa, the landmark of choice for the Ottomans, which acts as a mill, but also grows 4 berry bushes that can be harvested 50% faster, and these berry bushes do regrow for themselves. So it will be a heavy investment in feudal age here, it seems, with those villagers now coming off of gold, now that he's able to age up. Spearmen not really getting all that much value, but they are free units at the end of the day there for B. So investing in the early military school, whilst he hasn't done any damage with those spearmen, he's got units out on the field. Leenock does get to that feudal age. Of course, 3DB lagging behind ever so slightly. But when 3DB does get to the next stage, he should have a very, very strong economy, especially with the fact he's got fishing ships coming out. Just the one for now, though, surprisingly enough. He's not been able to invest in any more for now. It's quite a heavy investment, a dock for just 1 fishing ship. We shall see if he decides to go for any more. We will have villagers on berries gathering particularly fast, and these berry pickers will be, where are these guys going off to? Maybe waiting for another bush to appear, but usually optimum is about 3 to 4 villagers on the twin minaret madrasa. He has got about 7 so far. He really wants that food income. They are waiting, and he's willing to idle those 2 villagers. There we are. Should be starting to pick the berries very soon. Here comes an outpost forward for Leenock. He's going to try and contest this dock, and this could be painful for B because there are 2 hardened spearmen here for the Mongols and the archers in behind. This forces B to move back with his army. He's got a second fishing ship. Well, actually, it's a doubt. He's invested in a military ship. Should be able to pick off one of the villagers. Doesn't have the most perfect accuracy, these attack ships. It does pick off one of the villagers. The outpost will go up, and this is going to be denied here for 3DB. That's less than ideal, considering the heavy investment for it. He goes for the imams. The two imams acting as the healers for the vizier point trade-in for the Ottomans, and he's going to build a blacksmith to boost up the production speed. Now, you can see he just deleted the foundation for a stable, and that's because he will want the stable to be within the influence of that blacksmith, rather. So the blacksmith can boost the speed of production. We'll be able to get some shorefish here on the other side of that pond, thankfully enough for the Ottomans, so not all is lost. The game's starting to heat up now. Behind this, Leenock's macro is looking like he's just going to continue the pressure in the feudal age. Does have an archery range down now. We'll be able to double produce, and a blacksmith, and a barracks rather too. Quite heavy on wood, the Ottomans can be commonly seen. I wouldn't be surprised to see an archery range being placed down by 3DB, considering the type of macro is going for. He's actually, yep, that isn't the case. He's gone for that archery range as expected with this number of villagers on wood. He sent his spearmen forward with the two imams. Two spearmen going to try and burn this dock down. Khan heading towards the west side of the map just to keep an eye on what's going on. Get some scouting information. Looks like Leenock is going to be outposting and gathering shorefish with the villagers, and boosting his food income that way. Let's be careful with the Sipahi. Might lose one there. Lost a lot of HP on that Sipahi for very little gain. And Khan's going to be harassing villagers on gold. And we'll move that Khan away. Just get some more scouting information. This is the benefit of having those two imams. They'll be healing up the Sipahi, although we'll be taking a couple of arrows there. Does manage to get away with it. Dock does look like it's going to go down. Not much more value coming out from that. And this is really a case of, well, going first doesn't always mean you'll win the waters or win the area on map control. And in this case, it's actually Leenock who will win this area and actually be able to contest the shorefish and get it. Good thing for 3DB though, he does have that military school, constantly producing free units. He's got the meta as well, with boosting the attack speed of his units. Pretty neck and neck in terms of numbers of units. Does have a villager on stone as well, Ottomans here, to get perhaps the next military school as time goes on. Double archery range as well. Spearmen looking to scout out and find information, valuable information. There's a blacksmith there looking to get those upgrades. Steeled arrow is on the menu for the Mongols here. Heading forward, spearmen and archers versus what looks to be Sipahi and archers, although there are a couple of spearmen mixed in there too. And don't forget the two imams to heal up and the meta. This is possibly a decent fight here for Ottomans, as he does push that back. Leenock heads towards the outposts. Don't forget these are benefiting from the Yam network because of their Deerstone's landmark. As we head into the 9th minute of the game, both players just respecting things a little bit. This is the first game, of course. Neither player would want to throw their army away for nothing, as a scout and 3 Sipahi do head forward just to get some more scouting information perhaps. Look at that. Leenock does the same with the hardened Khan towards the west of the map. Khan spots the 3 Sipahi. Leenock immediately moves his army in that direction. The Sipahi might be shot at by the archers. Now the archers won't do all that much damage to the Sipahi, but it's enough to push them away, especially with the spearmen there. Spearmen really doing a lot of damage, and those imams might need to come in handy again to heal up those units. Villagers being brought back here for Leenock from the shorefish, I think. In any case, 3DB does have an extra villager. Perhaps a bit of idle time on that Mongol town centre. He might lose a villager here if he doesn't spot this, because he's actually being attacked by a wolf. A bit of an aggression here. Sipahi diving in on the villagers gathering shorefish. The outpost doing a good job though. Does manage to snipe one villager, possibly a second. Does get that second villager. Oh wait, does he? I'm not entirely sure he did. We'll have to see if that villager pops out. Oh, he didn't actually. Leenock doing amazing work to keep that villager alive. And yeah, 3DB did lose that villager on the walls in the end. There's a secondary military school coming out for 3DB. Now this is the key bit of detail that the Ottomans often do really well at. Whilst the Mongols can double produce with the Uru stone, the Ottomans do get free units themselves, so they start to really mass up, and he's picking off villagers left, right and centre. 6 villager lead now. The outpost is doing some work to act as a good static defence, but it does lose another villager on gold. It's going to lose another one as well. A bit of a micro for there for Leenock. Villagers need to run out of there. Let's have arrow slits now. 3DB has done the damage he needs to. Doesn't necessarily need to overcommit here. He needs to back off and just make sure his units are healed up. Might lose an imam. Does lose one imam. That is good value there on the retreat that Leenock gets, but I'm not sure Leenock can push the issue too much. Does have a decent number of archers in behind this. But the meta doing a lot of work here. Does have one imam remaining. Slowly but surely, those units will be healing up again, and a bit of ducking and diving here for 3DB, certainly helpful. Looks like Leenock's trying to get to that castle age. Certainly got the macro towards that direction. Almost 1,000 food, edging towards that 400 gold mark. Looks like 3DB is going to play a very heavy feudal age, and that's where the Ottomans are incredibly strong. Ooh, just manages to save that villager there, Leenock. And get the feeling things are starting to swing in the direction of 3DB. Does have the villager lead. Might be finding himself an age behind, but he's got the military lead as well. And one bad fight here for Leenock could spell the end of this. A lot of spearmen, a couple of horsemen there looking to chase down those archers. Meta on the back of the army. The Sabai running away, leaving the army behind. Oh, the Meta could have been sniped there by the spearmen. They weren't. Bit of a missed opportunity there for Leenock. He might have a round two. We shall see. But an 8 villager lead looking strong here for the Ottomans. Leenock itching to get to that next stage. Almost there. The Sabai trying to raid the villages on gold. Does get shot down. It looks like the Ottomans really trying to pressurize these outposts to deny the shorefish. And I think Leenock needs to give a bit of a ground here. He's going to go for that castle age with a step redoubt on the back gold. Looks to be securing his position and gold access. 3DB might start to try and push quite hard. As I say, that Leenock does push in through the stealth forest with the horsemen. Horsemen getting good value against the archers. Archers trying to snipe out the Mongol spearmen. Decent number of Sipahi there. Spearmen too. Looks like the horsemen are being picked apart for the Mongols. The horsemen go down. Just a couple more left, and the archer numbers looking very healthy for 3DB. The army numbers looking very healthy. Leenock dived in and he lost a lot of units, and the problem for him is that he's aging up. He's all out of resources in terms of pumping units. When he does go to the next age, he will have premium units. Possibility of man-at-arms, which would do a lot of damage, but the problem is, how many will he be able to afford? He's lost a lot of villagers. He is 12 villagers behind, and he lost a lot of military. No standing army to keep him safe there the next stage, and it just feels like the castle age is taking forever to get to, despite 10 villagers building it. And I think 3DB might be taking game number 1 on Dry River. See how he manages to see this game out. Lots of archers there in and amongst the meta. No melee units really, just the one Sabahi who's just going to be shot down by this outpost that does have arrow slits in placement. Trying to fire this, peppering it with arrows. It is on fire now though, so we'll start to reduce in health a little bit quicker. Leenock gets that castle age, and I think now 3DB might start to pile on the pressure. He's got plenty of food and gold. Might even think about going to castle age himself. We shall see how he decides to play this. Plenty of blacksmith upgrades, and he's going to pick up more villagers. Heavy aggression coming out from the Ottomans, dealing a lot of damage. And let's just see what is being built. It is double production of the man-at-arms, and that over goes down at possibly the worst time. Deletes it and rebuilds it elsewhere, but that does mean he won't be able to double produce, not without packing and shifting out those production buildings. Now 3DB slowly just starting to pile on the pressure by taking this outpost, denying this gold, and there are 3 units. I suspect there'll be villagers. Vizier Point is now available for 3DB. There's another stable and another military school coming out, and you can just see how things spiral with the Ottomans, as there were 3 Mongol villagers going down. And a decent lead, 14 villager lead here for the Ottomans, and they will be heading towards the next stage. It's going to be with the Mehmed Imperial Armory, looking to get that pre-siege on the map. This is looking strong for 3DB. He's probably going to wait before he dives in too much to get the veterancy upgrades. This will give Leenock a little bit of time to secure his situation. He is going for the prayer tent and some shaman to try and get hold of some relics, but the problem for him is that he is severely lacking behind on military count. 37 to 6. Meanwhile, 3DB actually moved out here on the east and got some fishing economy up and running. And that's the benefit of having a lot of pressure forward. Being aggressive gives you that map control, allows you to take the pocket economies on the map in the mid-map. That's exactly what's happened. 2 man-at-arms though, doing great work to idle this whole lumber camp. And B's going to have to relocate that lumber camp. Overall, not all too much damage done, but a bit of idle time. 3DB opting for textiles to heal up those units, or actually make them tankier rather. They're just coming forward for Leenock. Where are these guys off to? It looks like they're trying to get shorefish. That is very, very ballsy, a bit aggressive. Doesn't have an outpost there at all anymore, but does have some units heading that direction, I think. 2 man-at-arms. Be interesting to see if 3DB opts to get some crossbows, and that is indeed the case. That will be the natural counter to those man-at-arms, and 44 military to 11, 50 villagers to 36. Leenock has got a mountain to climb, but speaking of mountain to climb, those lancers will chop down those archers if they get a wrap around on them. There's only 2 of them, a third one joining in with 3 man-at-arms as well, and it's just not really a fight that 3DB can take. Does have numbers, but these guys will only tickle. Wonder whether 3DB is opting to get the veterancy upgrade. We'll be having units to supplement the fight when he decides to take it. The meta is involved too. But as I say, that meta is getting caught out on the back of the army, just manages to survive. That is huge. Meta on 18 HP, doesn't matter if it's on 18 or 1 HP, as long as it's in the army, boosting up the fight. That's exactly what's happening. Man-at-arms will be picked apart by these archers, and the spearman acting as a meat shield, and Leenock throwing away his army, what little he had. And on the retreat, well, the man-at-arms can't retreat, just the 2 lancers in the car make way, head back home. Perhaps looking to defend this position with the shorefish. Meanwhile, 3DB has had fishing ships out the whole time. So 3DB looking to just cement his position in this game, getting the eco upgrades, gets horticulture, pushes the villagers away from this gold again. And looks like, surprisingly enough, Leenock is struggling on gold. He actually brought his step out forward, trying to take the forward gold, which is rather surprising. I think he just wants to take that gold whilst he can. Trouble for him now is he doesn't have any active income of gold, I don't think. Yeah, has 0 villagers on gold. Now the archers are going to dive in. 54 military to 9. Leenock not be able to afford anything just yet. A lot of idle time being caused. Lancer heading in the forward direction there. 3DB acting as a good scout. Spearman coming to torch down the outpost, which does have a spring order emplacement. But it won't last long. Not with the torch damage coming out of the spearman. The archers just protecting that lancer on the retreat, but the town centre doing great work. 12 villagers idle. That is huge. It doesn't have much economy. The villagers are perishing quite significantly. And the villagers here being picked apart on that shorefish. That could be the final nail in the coffin. Leenock down to 25 villagers and 8 military. Looks like this is a formality, and that is indeed the case. 3DB takes game number 1 on Dry River. Stick around, ladies and gentlemen. This is a best of 3. The second game is coming right up. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to game number 2. We're moving from one dry map to another. We move from Dry River to Dry Arabia, with Leenock in the north in green as the French, going up against, of course, 3DB, playing in the south in orange as the Malians. Now 3DB getting that first win. This is pressure time for Leenock. He needs a win here. This is best of 3. Leenock needs to win this match to push this to a game number 3. And he's playing the French. Leenock is known to play incredibly strong with the French. But going up against the Malians is a big issue, because the Malians in many ways are thought to be a counter-civ to the French, especially with the options that they have. The Musafati warriors against the knights, and don't forget as well the javelin throwers against the archers. Incredibly strong civilization, the Malians, in many ways. And of course they've got the Donso. The Donso incredibly strong as they have the ability to throw their spears. The knights is a very difficult option for the French, and cavalry generally is very difficult against the Malians. But we'll see how this one pans out. Often we saw the Malians in at least Season 3 go for a fast castle type of build. And that could be something we have in store for 3DB. He's actually going to go for the Mansa Quarry rather than the Saharan Trade Network. Often we've seen the Saharan Trade Network look to protect the golden vein, the gold vein, the pit mine there as well. Wait a minute. Yeah, that is indeed the case. The pit mine that is placed there, I didn't see that for a second. But we see this traditionally for 3DB, really opting to get a timing on his tech up. 8 villages to build that. That's incredibly fast. That landmark's going to go up, and see Leenock going up with 4 on the School of Cavalry. Probably expecting to pump out at least 1 or 2 knights early on to try and cause some early harass. But Malians are a very gold-heavy civilization, and as long as they can get access to gold, they can be incredibly powerful, especially if they go to the Castle Age with the Farimba Garrison landmark. That landmark reduces the cost of its units to gold as well. Limits it to gold and also gives that discount. School of Cavalry, landmark of the choice for the French. No trade network, no chamber of commerce here for the French. Which is something that we've seen kind of emerge in Season 4 with the new patch change, where traders are given for free for the French with every eco upgrade that they get. But Leenock looking to play this game a bit more traditional, a bit more with what we're used to and expecting. 3 villagers on gold does suggest that a knight will pop out as soon as that School of Cavalry goes up. And it's going to be feudal age pressure here from Malians. He's actually going to invest in a stable and a lumber camp. Pretty surprised to see a stable. Actually, going to perhaps get some Sofa out, which is sort of a halfway house between a horseman and a knight. No barracks coming out to defend there for the Malians. It's an interesting play we often see against the French. The civilization that's being played often goes for their spearman line. In this case, of course, the Malians, it would be the Donso. Is that knight being queued up? Going for that wheelbarrow as well. Going with 4 villagers forward there, Leenock. Where are they off to? That is the question. Okay. 5 villagers. Wonder where they're off to. It's kind of unusual. It's not a forward town centre, of course. No stone or wood in the bank ready to be able to afford that. Maybe it's for an outpost. It's a bit of an awkward one. In any case, the warrior scout is out and about for 3DB. It does mean that the scouts for Leenock will be under pressure. Oh, now 3DB will spot the villagers. He's going to try and snipe the scout. He possibly will. He should do, because the warrior scout does appear to have more movement speed, 1.88 tiles per second, compared to the 1.62. And that scout will be going down. Knight popping out. Looks like the villagers are going to try and build an outpost, but would he be able to get the foundation down? This is a big ballsy play by Leenock. It is an outpost. He feels the pressure. Another warrior scout. Well, 3 knights there. He's going to focus on the villagers for now. I think he's going to pick off 1. And don't forget, the warrior scouts can heal themselves, so as long as B keeps them alive, that would be the important issue. Doesn't have really a counter for the outpost just yet. Doesn't have enough wood for an outpost of his own. Continues with the scouts. Enables the charge attack to come out on that scout, the high health one. Ooh. Possibly nearly lost the scout. Will 3DB micro this? The strength of the micro for both these players, it has to be said. Leenock and 3DB both known for their micro. Doing great work. Might use 1 scout though. Oh, just gets away with it. Holy smokes, this is a crazy micro battle. Warrior scouts harassing those villagers, and there's just only 1 knight here. There's only so much that 1 knight can do. Picks off another villager. Okay, this outpost will not go up. A bit surprised to see this, because he's actually going to deny this with the warrior scouts. That's pretty impressive. Villagers running around. Leenock lost a lot there. 4 villagers down. Deletes the outpost, and Donso there too against the knight. And he could take a fight here with the warrior scouts and the Donso. It's not a fight that Leenock can take. He backs away. And that is huge there for 3DB. Itching towards winning game number 2 and progressing to the next set in Golden League 2. Hosted by EGCTV, by the way, has to be made mention. Didn't mention it earlier because it's kind of assumed. We all know, those who are familiar with the Age of Empires 4 esports scene, the EGCTV are essentially behind almost everything at the moment when it comes to esports and Age of Empires 4. Decent number of warrior scouts, and 7 of them. I mean, it's kind of possibly worth getting professional scouts at this point, even though that the Malians do, of course, rely on cattle. I wouldn't be surprised to see professional scouts. It's already been picked in, actually. Yeah, he is getting those deer, and that'll be a nice bit of food income. 1 warrior scout forgot his carcass. In any case, the Donso will spot what's going on. Will lose his life in exchange. Behind this, 3DB might now look to go towards a fast castle, although doesn't really necessarily fit 3DB's style of play. He looks to be very aggressive often, and he's going to go for that secondary pit mine. Playing this fantastically well so far, really limiting the damage that Leenock's been able to do. And that early aggression that Leenock tried, well, he's behind the villagers despite the town centre for the French working faster. Just lost a lot. 6 villagers died. That is huge. Leenock opting for a second town centre, gathering the stone slowly but surely. We'll need a large standing army to defend that second town centre, as 3DB will be itching towards the castle age possibly. We shall see. He's still investing in Sofa and units in the feudal age though. In any case, this is looking pretty bad for Leenock actually, because going for a second town centre, that leaves them very exposed to feudal age aggression, and in fact leaves them very exposed to the tech up to the castle age, because he won't be able to contest it, not with keeping 2 town centres running and trying to produce army at the same time. We do see the stream of warrior scouts coming forward. 14 units on the field, in terms of military units at least. And certainly the French on the back foot, which is not what they are known to be doing. That is the problem for Leenock at the moment. French not playing to their game plan, not playing to their strengths, and it's partly because of losing so many villagers early on with that big play with the outpost and the great micro from 3DB. They just do head back out to that wood line. Is that second town centre in a very nice spot near deer, near berries and the wood line? But this is going to be possibly scouted for 3DP. Oh, he's going to run into a lot of spears. Won't even lose warrior scout though, which is pretty key. I suspect he knows what's up. He must see something up. Doesn't see the town center placement. Wonder if he saw the stone. Looks like he possibly did. In any case, the timings will give it away. The fact that he doesn't see military on the field, 3DP will be understanding that there's something going on. Either a second town center or a castle age. And, looks like 3DP is really heading towards a heavy feudal age push. Continuing to produce those units. Perhaps looking to get some more deer carcasses into the town center. Yeah, shooting the deer carcasses now, and behind this, Leenock will slowly but surely equalize the villager gap, but he had to have a large investment in order to do that. Speaking of villager investment, some of that investment might be lost if the Suffer get their way and manage to cycle round. Possibly looking to target that wood line, but the spearmen are on hand for Leenock, so should be able to defend this position quite nicely. Not much value the Suffer can get at the moment. But the Donso are heading that position as well. Donsos will do pretty well against this. Gonna just look to torch down and do damage as he waits. Okay, this is very heavy feudal age pressure coming up for 3DB. A third stable being invested into. I think 3DB wants to end this game quickly. I think this is certainly the right call, especially because he's seen the stone now. He would have clicked on the stone outcropping to see how much stone was collected, so he'd be well aware of that second town center, just not necessarily knowing where it is exactly. So that'll possibly push him into even a heavier feudal age pressure. Horseman, knight, and a scout heading forward for the French. Heading across the map. You can see what damage they can do. Might just cross paths with the warrior scouts, but they should be able to make it out. At least some of them will. Might lose one. Does indeed lose one. Possibly losing a second. B not reacting appropriately here. Does lose one. Needs to drop the carcasses, I think. In fact, no, he's just going to fight. You could blame him. Does take out the scout for the French, and the knight is in very low health. Behind all of this, the Farimba garrison is coming. The tech up to the castle age for the Malians. Looking to put 3DB in a very strong position. 11, wait, how many villages? 14 villages. 3DB really does love to go to the next stage quickly when he does. Big engagement here with the Donso. Suffer do go down, of course, because of the spearmen that are there. A couple of archers for the French. We'll pick apart the spearmen. Good fight there overall for Leenock rather, but 3DB buying himself some time. And this is key. Whilst 3DB is throwing away a couple of units, this is keeping the French army back at home. This allows 3DB now safely to get to that next stage. And now be able to produce castle age units. There it is. Whilst Leenock does have the military advantage and the villager lead, he is a whole age behind. Interesting to see what 3DB decides to start producing. Gonna go for the veterancy upgrade on the Suffer. Has a double blacksmith as well. Looks like he's gonna look to get those upgrades quickly. Don't know if that was a misclick to produce two of them, but he's done it. Third gold vein, looking to get a third pit mine. The passive gold generation will be incredibly strong, so if you're not aware, in Age of Empires 4, Malians, the pit mine, actually gathers gold for the civilization passively. Of course, gathers more gold, depending on the number of structures around it in terms of houses and mining camps. The more of them, the more passive gold they generate. Snipes the villager building the outpost, just delays that transition onto berries. Slightly not trying to wall up on the east side, but the warrior scouts get involved and take out another villager. Leenock under all sorts of pressure. 10 villagers idled here in that secondary town centre. And, well, 3DB might be throwing away a couple of warrior scouts. He's actually going to pull away. No, just loses a couple of them, but he's kept a lot of villagers idled. That is the key detail as well. Whilst he's trading units quite cheaply, he is causing villager idle time, and that's key. Spearmen heading towards that east side, looking to really just shore up that wall. Leenock will get that wall up, try to buy himself some time. He's going to need to try and push this into the later game because he has a tech behind. He needs to survive and get to that castle age at some point. But he can't really stop producing units at this point because of the Farimba garrison constantly churning out units for the Malians. Veterancy are in for the Suffer. Not quite for the archers just yet. Getting military academy as well. 3DB, he smells damage to be done. Oh, it's denied again. The veteran, so the warrior scouts, they are veteran warrior scouts actually now. They're denying that wall. Spearmen got pulled apart, got pulled away. I think Leenock moved them a bit prematurely away from the area. Getting them back again. Economy looking strong for the Malians. 3 pit mines operational, fully surrounded by houses and mining camps. Army heading forward for the Malians, getting the veterancy for the archers. Just came in now. Is getting a steeled arrow. Looks like a big push might be coming in for 3DB relatively soon. Even military numbers, but obviously the tech advantage certainly in favor of the Malians. As we head into the almost 15th minute of the game, we could just sense one big fight coming in. Steeled arrow is coming in now for the Malians, and 3DB is gearing up for that fight. On the west, there is that exposed gold vein. There is an outpost there. A lot of resources on this one screen for the French. That can be denied. That would be a big problem. This is the engagement that 3DB possibly wants. There are archers and spearmen there for Leenock. The veterancy of the archers should survive a lot of pressure. Sofa just diving in, tanking a lot of the damage coming in from the French archers, but doesn't seem like there's enough there for Leenock. Spearmen heading back, doesn't want to engage too much. Sofa just needs to stay away from those spearmen. Looks like Mali is playing this to a T. He's going to pick apart those spearmen. 3DB, if he takes those spearmen out, those French spearmen, that's all that's standing in front of the Sofa and the archers. I think the Sofa now going to dive in. They're going to focus on the archers in behind this, and it looks like this is the push that 3DB wanted. 44 military to 17. This could be the final nail in the coffin. Might just look to dive this primary town centre. 8 villagers garrison inside, a lot of idle time coming out of that. The veteran Sofa is going to go straight past that town centre on those archers. They're going to try and surround them. Picks up another villager that was coming out from town centre. This is an issue. There it is. Leenock taps out. 3DB progresses to the next round of Golden League.